On Tuesday morning, from a hospital bed no less, a teacher from Uvalde High School went on Good Morning America and had a lot to say about what occurred at his school, about the massacre that took place. Most importantly, this teacher literally doing this interview with Good Morning America on Tuesday, today, from a hospital bed because he was shot multiple times while defending his students, said what I think a lot of us have been thinking, and I've certainly said, others have, not everybody is in a position to say it. He called the police who refused to go in for 48 minutes, I believe is our current count, and refused to let anybody else go in to the point of handcuffing a parent. I would have dared them to handcuff me if one of my kids were inside and I needed to get inside to them. But handcuffed parents and yelled at grieving parents. He said from his hospital bed where he has multiple gunshot wounds because these guys didn't go in. Certainly that was one reason, perhaps. Another, somebody having easy access to an assault rifle. He called them cowards because they are cowards. And you may have heard in the days since, after this group of effing cowards refused to go in and went with all of their guns and refused to take down a shooter who was murdering little babies, that the police chief was refusing to even work with the FBI and others in the investigation because I think he knows what will come out, which is they all should be in prison. Forget them all never working in law enforcement again. They sat there, ignored their duty, and allowed a murder to take place. Well, let's go to what Mr. Reyes had to say in his interview with Good Morning America. He said, quote, "You have a bulletproof vest. I had nothing. You're supposed to protect and serve. There is no excuse for your actions, and I will never forgive them. I will never forgive them." Now, I don't think any of us will ever forgive them. Certainly the parents who lost kids, certainly anybody with any relation, but really honestly anybody who lives in Texas, the United States, or anybody who watched as these cowards stood there and stopped anybody from going in to save these kids. Why? What was the reasoning? Is it because they weren't white? And I'm not just saying that. I want to know. Because there had to be a reason why these kids' lives were not worth these sons of bitches going in who had bulletproof vests, who had the proper guns, who had the training, who had everything necessary to go in and save these little babies' lives and yet chose not to. And I really frickin' want to know what that reason is. Going on, the Robb Elementary School teacher, Mr. Reyes, said his class was watching a movie following a student award ceremony at 11:30 a.m. when they heard the gunshots. He directed the kids to get under a table. Yeah, because that's what we're doing in America these days. While the Senate right now is sitting down and making clear they will not even raise the age from 18 to 21 to get an assault rifle. They will not even pass universal background checks. Mitch McConnell is a murderer, has blood on his hands, and so does every damn member of the Republican caucus. Directed the kids to get under the table, just as they were trained, and told them to, quote, act like you're asleep. Our kids are faking being asleep. Do they have to snore so they wouldn't be shot by an assault rifle? Do they have to put their thumbs in their mouth maybe to fake more like they're asleep so they wouldn't be frickin' murdered? Like they were in the Battle of the Bulge or something? One young girl wiped her friend's blood on her to fake like she was dead so she wouldn't be killed. Were these guys cowards? Is Mr. Reyes right? What do you think? I think it's pretty clear. Reyes said when he turned around, he said the gunman was standing in his classroom and shot him several times. Incredible. He told the kids, I told you that they were asleep, and he acted like he was asleep, even after shot. The gunman killed 19 students, as you know. Texas Department of Public Safety said several officers, I'm not going to even get into their bullshit. The delay confronting the shooter, the public safety director said, was the wrong decision. Yeah, you think so? Turns out it was over an hour. I gave him too much credit at 48 minutes. One of the fourth graders who survived said that his classmate was fatally shot after she cried help when officers asked the kids to yell if they needed assistance. I mean, if this couldn't get any worse, they yelled for help. The officers did not come, and that led the murderer to them. Reyes, in this interview, I'll just finish up, crying, expressed regret. He couldn't have done more to save his students. He said they were sitting ducks. And then a message aimed to students and parents. He said, "I'm sorry, I tried my best. Please don't be angry with me." That's the message we should be hearing from every one of these police officers right now. That's the message we should be hearing from Kevin McCarthy and Mitch McConnell and Rob Portman and Ted Cruz and Rand Paul and Ron Johnson, every one of these cowards who won't do a damn thing and let these kids die. He vowed that he would advocate, Mr. Reyes, I'll finish it up, raising the age limit for the purchase of AR-style rifles, like the one used in the attack. And he will fight for further changes. Quote, "I will go to the end of the world to make sure that things get changed," Reyes said. If we had a Republican Party that would go to the end of the aisle to make the very simple changes that would make us like every other high-income democracy and stop our children from being slaughtered.